am I the asshole for sleeping with one of my new friend's husbands? It sounds bad, I know, but please just hear me out. I made a new friend at work a month or two ago. I'm single and I hook up with some guys every now and then. I was on a dating app and I saw him and I had no idea it was her husband. Well, we hook up basically after a day of talking and he didn't even mention her, didn't have a ring or anything. I literally had no idea. Well, my company decided to host a little party and a lot of people brought their significant others. And when I looked over my shoulder, I saw my new friend from work and her husband, which was the guy that I hooked up with. I immediately started panicking and felt awful. I didn't say anything to her that night. I kind of ignored her, and he definitely recognized me because he also tried to avoid eye contact with me. The next week, I was able to pull my friend aside and I told her what happened, and she got really upset with me, saying how dare I sleep with her husband that I've had to know. I asked her what she's gonna do and I apologized, and she said that she no longer can be my friend and that I'm a terrible person who's gonna rot in hell. I feel awful, but at the same time, I don't think I'm in the wrong.
Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend I would not coddle him every time he overthought something and hurt his own feelings? For some context, I, 22 female, met him, 27 male, at a bike event. We had a lot in common and I really like him. Here's the thing though, emotionally we are polar opposites. I have lived on my own since I was 16 and am very antisocial, like only go hang out maybe twice a month type of antisocial. I enjoy being alone. My apartment is my safe place where I can be alone and be in solitude. I'm a very blunt, unfiltered person, mainly because I lack empathy and I really don't know how to sugarcoat anything. The other day we were about to watch TV when he says, "You're on my side of the bed." I said, "No, you sleep wherever I graciously let you sleep." I laughed. I say things like that all the time. We often joke like that. Anyways, he says, "Okay, I'll just go to the living room and watch TV." In a lighthearted way, I said, "You got the better end of the deal anyways. That TV is bigger."
Am I the asshole for telling my son I will not stop inviting his ex to family events? My son divorced his wife after having an affair with a much younger woman, and he and his ex have 2 kids, and his ex almost had full custody of them. Son gets his children for a week and a month. Just got engaged to the woman that he had an affair with and told me I'm not allowed to invite his ex to family events anymore because his fiance is uncomfortable being around her. Told him no, and now he's angry with me, but my reasoning is that she has custody of their children the vast majority of the time, and I want to be able to see my grandchildren frequently, not just once a month. He's basically been my daughter for 20 years, and the divorce is not going to change that. Am I the asshole for not excluding her?
Am I wrong for not letting my dad's wife name or see my baby? I'm 25 and pregnant. My dad got remarried when I was 17. Me and her never got along. She always pushed me and she wanted me to call her mom and then got mad when I didn't. She got mad that my dad was choosing me over her because we would go out together, just me and him. She went through my text messages, got mad at me for talking to my boyfriend about my depression and how I was feeling and not to her. She tried to take the stuff that I paid for away, my phone, car, etc. Tried to make me babysit her kids multiple times, even on my prom night. She tried to make me lose weight by fasting for a week straight. I'm a healthy weight, always was and still am, but that has always been monitored by a doctor due to health issues then and now. Me and my dad still talk, just not as much. He wanted to meet for brunch, so I said yes, unaware that he was bringing her. When they came in, we talked for a bit casually with my husband there too, until we got into the topic of my pregnancy. She asked me all kinds of questions until she gets to names. She told me that I was going to name the baby Amy, her daughter's name. I politely said no and said we already had a few names in mind. She started saying why she wasn't allowed to name her grandchild and she thought that she would get that right, and I told her it's our right. That was another issue. She kept saying that I was taking away her right as a grandparent and that I've always been such a bitch to her for no reason, and she knew that I never accepted her as a mother from the beginning, but I'm a bad parent if I'm going to project that onto my kid. However, this is when I stopped everything and told her she's not allowed around my kid ever. She kept pushing it, saying that she always knew I was a brat, but to be this bitter to someone who only helped her is absurd. I said that she can think that all she wants, but I'm going to be naming our child whatever we decide, and that name won't be it. Then she decided to try to hit close to home, saying that I was going to be a horrible mother. I'm already not taking care of myself. I look like shit. I'm already eating too much and probably killing the baby with how much I eat. And I just keep adding to how much of a self-centered person I am by taking away her bonding with her grandchild. Whoa, that hit me hard. But I was through. I told her she's not going to be seeing my child ever when she's born since she wanted to push her luck. Before I could say more, my husband grabbed our stuff and we left. I've never ever gotten so many messages from so many different people in my life. Multiple people are telling me that she was wrong, but I know how she can get, but I shouldn't deny her her grandbaby. Others are saying I'm an asshole and my father is on her side too. I honestly think I'm 100% in the right. It could be self-absorbed of me to say, but I do. But everyone else besides my husband thinks I'm a raging bitch. So, am I the asshole? I do understand people's obsession with naming other people's kids. If you want to name someone's kid, have your own. You can give an opinion like, hey, what do you think of this name? But you can't be pissed off when someone doesn't decide to pick your basic ass name like Amy. Sorry to all the Amy's out there. Don't take offense. But you're not her mom. You're no one to her. She's shown this insignificance you've played in her life. Why would you ever think you had a say in what her child would be named?
Am I the asshole for refusing to shoot nude for my brother anymore? I, 18 female, have a brother, 19 male, who's a cinephile. He's had a camera in his hand since the ripe age of 6, and we've always been doing shoots together, indoors and outdoors. Recently, he had a project for his film school and asked if I could shoot for him and kept insisting. I said yes, and he wanted it to be 15 minutes long. After we finished the scenes outside, our parents were on a work stay, so we had the free house to do the shooting. It was a scene where early in the morning, I wake up, make coffee, sit on my balcony, and smoke. Before the scene, he said he wanted a sense of authenticity, realism, and intimacy in the scene.
Am I wrong for letting my friends surprise propose to each other? I, 24 male, have a group of friends, and there is a couple in the group. We have all been friends since high school and kept in touch through college, so we're all still quite close. Recently, the boyfriend in the couple, 24 male, announced that he was planning to propose to his girlfriend, 25 female. Of course, we were all incredibly supportive and excited as we had watched their relationship grow from the start. However, 2 weeks later, the girlfriend told us she was going to propose to him. When we heard, we discussed, without them present of course, and decided to let them surprise each other as we thought we'd just get a sweet story to tell at the wedding. After a month of planning and nudging the two in the right direction, both decided to propose to the other by the lake at a nearby nature reserve where they shared their first kiss. They had me and another friend watch from a distance to capture photos of the moment the proposal happened. This is where things go wrong. The moment the girlfriend pulled out the ring before the boyfriend could, he went very quiet. My friend and I were watching in anticipation, thinking he was maybe just stunned. Suddenly, he turned bright red and started screaming, full on yelling and shouting. The girlfriend dropped the ring in shock and he snatched it and threw it into the lake. He went on and on about how it was his duty as a man to propose first, and how could she do this to him. He said a few other sexist things that I'm not going to repeat for the sake of my friend. We always knew he was a bit traditional in a sense, as his father is a businessman while his mother is a stay-at-home mom, and he was raised on slightly more old-fashioned values. Man equals big job and woman equals housewife. But through the whole relationship, he was very respectful and gentlemanly. So you can imagine how shocked all of us were. The boyfriend saw us and screamed at us too, saying we betrayed his trust and that we as men should know that a woman shouldn't be the one to propose. We didn't know what to say and he threw his own ring box to the ground and stormed off. Later that day, my friend and I got publicly called out on social media by him. He called us traitors and he left any group chats and servers we were all in together. My friends are mostly taking our sides, but I'm honestly still shocked and we have been through thick and thin together and never would have imagined this happening. What do you guys think? Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for taking away my daughter's bedroom and giving it to my son? I, 32 male, have a daughter, Harper, 14 female, from my previous relationship. I have full custody and her mom is not involved in her life. 5 years ago, I met my wife, Nina, 31 female. We tried to have a child, but we couldn't. We went to the doctor and turned out I can't have any more kids due to some complications. We decided to use a sperm donor and as a result was a son, Mark, who was born a few months ago. The problem started when Nina got pregnant. Harper wasn't happy about it. When Mark was born, things got worse. Before this, Harper and I used to spend 2 days a week together, just the two of us, without my wife. But after Mark was born, I couldn't do that anymore. I can't just leave my wife alone for 2 days a week with a newborn, and Harper has been very angry about it. The main problem started 3 days ago. Nina and I decided to make a nursery for Mark instead of having him in our bedroom for multiple reasons. Our home has 4 bedrooms, 2 master bedrooms at one side and 2 bedrooms at the other side. One of the master bedrooms is ours, and the other one is Harper's. It was very hard for Nina and I to go to the other side of the home multiple times at night when Mark wakes up, so I asked Harper to pack her stuff and go to the other bedroom so we could give hers to Mark. At first, everything seemed alright. She said okay and went to her room and started packing, but less than an hour later, my brother showed up at our home asking for Harper. She called him and asked him to take her. She came out of her room with her stuff and told me, "You can give it to your son now," and left with my brother. I told her she could only go for one night, but it has been 3 days and she is not back and won't even talk to me. I'm receiving calls from our family all calling me an asshole and other names. I don't trust their judgment. They very clearly favor Harper. She was the first grandchild in our family and everyone's favorite. Also, they are trying to accept Mark as my son, but I could see that they haven't been able to do that yet, so I decided to post on here and get some unbiased opinions. I realized I've messed up, so I went to my brother's home and tried to get Harper back, but he didn't even let me see her, saying she doesn't want to see me. He said he would only let her go back if